Welcome back to Gaming Vision. Today, we're taking a look at gaming in 21:9 on an ultra-wide display. This is all about the experience. After spending some time with it, I realized 21:9 changes more than your field of view. It changes the way games frame their worlds. Online games can use the extra space for user interface and battlefield awareness. AAA games use it for composition, a stronger sense of speed, and a more cinematic look. So today, we're testing 3 online games and 6 AAA titles to see which ones really make the most of an ultra-wide screen. These are all games I personally enjoy playing. If you've tried any other games that look especially good in 21:9, let me know in the comments. A lot of work went into this video, so please leave a like and subscribe. Alright, let's start with our first game, Where Winds Meet. At 21:9, the biggest improvement is that its martial arts world finally feels vast. When you're riding, leaping across rooftops, or moving through a city, your character no longer fills the frame. Rooftops, roads, and distant mountains all stay in view. It feels like a wuxia film unfolding across a wide cinema screen. The user interface, however, is still quite busy. Once quest prompts and skill icons start piling up, some of that immersion can disappear.
那死人刀也混进了清河，今年的开坛夜恐怕真不太平。
Next is a game I've loved and played for well over a decade, World of Warcraft. Its 21:9 experience may not be the most visually dramatic, but it might be the most practical. Raid frames, chat windows, damage meters, and ability add-ons can all be moved to the sides, leaving the center of the screen for your character and boss mechanics. While flying or running large raids, the extra horizontal view also makes Azeroth feel much bigger. Just don't pull the camera too far back, or your character starts looking like a tiny icon on the world map. The third game is Neverness to Everness. It's another Chinese online game I've been enjoying recently. I think it fits 21:9 extremely well because of its urban atmosphere. When you're driving through the city, shops, traffic, billboards, and intersections sweep past on both sides. The city stops feeling like a backdrop and starts to surround you. Alright, now let's move on to the AAA games. First up is an old favorite, Cyberpunk 2077. If I could choose only one game to demonstrate 21:9, it would definitely be Cyberpunk 2077. Night City's towers, traffic, advertising, and neon signs were made for a wider frame. Whether you're driving in first person or using a third-person camera, the windshield can stretch across almost your entire view. It starts to feel like a proper driving simulator. Details along both sides of the street naturally enter your peripheral vision. Once path tracing is enabled, wet roads and neon reflections create colors. The result is genuinely spectacular. Next up is Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best games for ultra-wide displays. The reason is simple. Westerns were built for widescreen cinema. When Arthur rides across the wilderness, he can sit on one side of the frame, while the other side is left for the sunset, the mountains, and the road ahead. The emptier the world becomes, the more powerful it feels. That negative space in the composition creates an incredibly strong sense of scale and immersion. Personally, once I've seen Red Dead 2 framed like this, going back to 16:9 makes the immersion drop off a cliff. And for those who came for the heroine, Stellar Blade in 21:9 mainly benefits from the extra combat space. Your character, enemies, and effects are no longer squeezed into the center of the screen. Dodges, parries, and high-speed movement feel more open and fluid. Combat starts to look more like a stage performance. You can keep both the character and the environment in frame without sacrificing the background just to keep looking at the character. You know what I mean? Of course, the game has one very real problem. The screen may be wider, but your attention may not get any wider. A lot of the action and most of your attention still stays on the heroine, right? Next, we have a racing game. I chose the latest entry, Forza Horizon 6. Racing games are one of the genres that benefit most directly from 21:9. The sense of speed doesn't come only from what's ahead. It comes from the scenery rushing backward at both sides. The wider the screen, the more strongly barriers, trees, and buildings seem to fly past you. From the cockpit view, the windshield and the interior also feel much closer to real-world vision. But I wouldn't push the field of view too far. Otherwise, the road starts to look distorted. The perspective can become too aggressive, and once that happens, the experience may actually get worse. Next up is 007 First Light. It's also one of the newer games in this test. My view of 007 in 21:9 is quite similar to Red Dead Redemption 2. James Bond has always been cinematic, and cinema is naturally associated with widescreen framing. Spy films often place the character on one side of the frame, while the other side shows enemies, architecture, or danger. An ultra-wide display gives that kind of composition exactly the space it needs. During stealth sequences, you can keep the character, cover, and patrol routes visible at the same time. Chases and gunfights also feel more like a widescreen action film. Switching back to 16:9 creates a very noticeable loss of impact.
Remember our code of conduct. Don't shoot until absolutely necessary.
Left route. My choice exactly. Keep at it. Never heard you coming. Huh? They're about to see you, Bond.
What? I'll tear you apart.
The works.
Cover me while I'm after
Go
it.
for it, Bond.
And finally, the one I've saved for last. My personal favorite, Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong in 21:9 has native ultra-wide support, including its interface. And it works very well. Its greatest strength is mythological spectacle. Enormous Buddha statues, temples, mountains, and bosses can all fit fully into the frame. After testing all 9 games, my takeaway is that 21:9 doesn't simply add the same amount of view to every game. At least that's how it feels to me. World of Warcraft uses it to organize information. Forza Horizon 6 uses it to amplify speed. Cyberpunk 2077 strengthens the sense of being surrounded by the world. Red Dead Redemption 2 and 007 First Light use it to create immediate cinematic impact. So what Ultrawide really brings isn't just a larger image. It gives different kinds of games a better way to express themselves. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. This is Gaming Vision. I'll see you in the next one.